Hey guys, welcome back. There's literally a squirrel at my window. Anyway, today I'm doing a review on Natasha Denona products. Full face from primer to foundation, bronzer, blush, whatever, what have you, and eyeshadow, of course. I'm just a huge fan of Natasha Denona. I think she's an amazing makeup artist. I think all her products are amazing. I've invested a lot into her products out of any other makeup brand that's out there because I truly believe that her formulations are the best in the game, like, frankly speaking. So I just wanted to show you guys how to use the products, what kind of products she even carries, and yeah, this is the look I created. So if you guys are interested, please keep watching. Okay, so I'm gonna start with her Face Glow Primer. This is basically supposed to be like a dewy primer. It's just like a cream like that. I'm just gonna take a little bit of it and just put it all over. I've used this primer before. Just a nice primer if you want glowy skin. And it smells really good too. It smells like cucumbers or something. So I have her sponge. I like the sponge. It's not my favorite. I do prefer the, honestly, like the Real Techniques Miracle Sponge. I even like that one better than the Beauty Blender. So, but I do like this too. It's just a difference in, it's soft, but I like the Miracle Sponge because it's like, it's softer slightly. But the finish still looks just as good. For her foundation, I'm gonna be using the Transfer Matte foundation. It gives a good coverage. I'm using it in the lightest color, 3N Fair. As per usual, always using the lightest color. And this one actually matches my skin tone, which I appreciate. Just gonna put it all over and then blend it all in. So I'd say this foundation is medium buildable. Right now I did just a medium coverage. I could build it up if I wanted to. I have built it up before when I wanted something more full, but right now I'm digging just medium coverage. So we're gonna leave it at that. For contour, I'm gonna use her Sculpt and Glow. I'm going to use this contour color right here and just swatch it for you guys. It's quite nice. I do enjoy this contour color. It's not too cool and it's not too warm, which I appreciate for my skin tone. There's a darker one for this as well. I have the light medium one. And I'm going to use her 15 brush for this. I do believe it's called the contour brush. So I'm just gonna use my sponge to tame that down because I went a little ham. This cream contour goes a long way, and I'm kind of using it as a bronzer situation because I don't have cream bronzer from Natasha, but it is quite a lovely formula. It does blend like butter, for real. So to cover up my under eyes, I'm just gonna use this color and then I'll go in with her concealer. Just gonna dip my sponge right into it. It has like a nice peachy tone to it. I'm using it to cover up the dark circles the same way I would use a peachy under eye brightener. And this again blends beautifully. Do you see how it just like doesn't cover it up like the way a concealer would? It just eliminates the darkness. I know some people might use that over their concealer, which is fine, but this is just how I like to use it because I like it like that. And then I'm going to use this cream highlighter just on my cheekbones. Again, using the same sponge. I'm doing this just because when I put on my powder and everything and set my face, I like that once my makeup settles into my skin, it kind of, this cream highlight will shine through it. Now for concealer, I'm gonna use her Transfix Matte Concealer. I'm using it in the lightest color as well, the 1N Neutral, and I'm just gonna conceal the way I always do. So I'd say this concealer is a medium coverage. I wouldn't say it's full. It does have kind of like not a completely matte finish. It's more like a skin satiny finish. There is a glow, but I did put on her face glow primer and it does give quite a luminous glow. So even though I put on a matte foundation and a matte concealer, it looks like skin. It doesn't look heavy. It has a little bit of a glow. If you're not a fan of a glowy finish, if you want something matte, I have used the foundation before and it did give me a very matte finish without this primer. This is the first time I'm trying the concealer and I'm in love, and I love the color. I love when there's a light enough concealer for a fair skinned girl like me to highlight, and that the lightest foundation matches my skin tone. That makes me really happy. Now I'm gonna set my face with her Invisible HD powder. I believe this only comes in one shade, light medium. Then maybe if there's a one light medium, maybe there's a darker shade. I'm not sure. I already used up one of them, and I'm going to take this stopper out like I always do with all of my powders. So I'm just going to use the setting brush that I have, and I'm just going to take away the crease lines and then set under my eyes and then my whole face. Okay, so I do love the powder. It again gives you a nice satin finish. It doesn't look dry, so I think people with dry skin would really enjoy this. The color is perfect. It didn't make my foundation look darker, which is what happens often with powders for people with fair skin. At least for myself, that's what happens. As you can see, that's the color. It's not like white or clear or anything like that. So I do really enjoy her powder. I truly do. So for powder contour, I could go in with this contour color from the palette. Although I do actually really like that contour powder, even though it may look slightly dark, it still works really well for my skin tone. But I really also enjoy her contouring powder. This is in shade Light 1. What I like about this one is when I'm going for a more natural look, I would go for this one. Whereas the other one, if I'm doing some glam look, I would go a little bit more, I would want to be a little bit more snatched. You know what I mean? So I'd say with the contour powder, it does get a little powdery, which I personally don't mind, but some people may mind it. But it is pigmented. So I'd go in with the light hand, but still it blends so beautifully. This is one theme I see ongoing in Natasha Denona's products, because she's a makeup artist, because she's used probably so many different kinds of powders. She makes a formula that is so incredibly blendable. Everything she's ever made I find to be so incredibly blendable, especially her iconic eyeshadows, which is what put her on the map, right? So it would make sense that that would continue on throughout the rest of her products. The contouring powder does come in many shades. There's like 8 shades or something like that. So I do really like that she has a wider range of products when it comes to different skin tones. So for bronzer, I have her Bronze and Glow palette in tan. That's the bronzer color right there. So I also have this mini Bronze and Glow. That's the color right there. So that's the mini Bronze and Glow, and then that's the tan Bronze and Glow palette. This one's slightly warmer, this one's slightly cooler. And then in comparison to the contour powders, so that's the individual sculpting powder. It's really soft and creamy actually. And then that's from the large palette. This one's a little bit harder pressed. As you can see, it's not too pigmented, which is actually really good for blending. This one blends out beautifully as well, but just I can tell a difference. And then that's in comparison to the bronzers. I'm gonna use the mini just because I like how a little cooler it is, and I just feel like going that route right now. But I've used the other one and it's just as beautiful. Now to clean everything up, I'm going in with this powder right here. It's the Japanese pressed powder. So I'm going to dust all of it off, and honestly this powder is stunning. It's so silky soft, and it really is great as a finishing powder if you want, a highlighting powder the way I do it. It's a beautiful powder. Okay, so in terms of blush, I have every single possible blush that Natasha Denona has to offer. So I'll show you this palette first. This is the Diamond and Blush palette. This is the inside of the palette. So there's a cream blush, there's a cream highlight, and then there's a cream blush topper kind of situation. And then there's 2 highlighting powders at the bottom. What I really like is that there's this cover that covers the cream products, so they don't get like all the powders inside. Then we have these 2 palettes. So this was the first one she came out with, then she came out with this one. This is the Bloom Blush and Glow palette. That's it right there. So again, cream blush, cream like blush topper situation, and then 2 highlighters. This one could also be used as a blush topper or a highlighter for deeper skin tones. And same thing with the cream blush, for it could be a nice blush for deeper skin tones. Then there is the newer one she came out with, which is the Love Glow Cheek palette. That's it right there. This is actually a powder. This is a cream blush. And then, oh my god, this one is so beautiful. I can't even express how stunning this highlighter is. It looks glittery, but it's truly stunning. Then there's the regular highlighter. And I'm gonna swatch all of these as well. So then she has like so many of these. Over 10, I think. And they're blush duos, basically. I have palette 10, which looks like this. This is more of like a natural, creamy blush. And then this is more of a cooler, rosy blush. Then she also came out with a mini highlighting Bloom blush. This is what it looks like. I also have her mini Diamond and Glow. This one I'd say is more of a highlighting blush, or again, a blush topper or highlighter for deeper skin tones. This one right here. And then there's also the mini Blush and Glow. And that's the blush right there. the blush in this palette. I'm going to use this cream blush, and then I'm gonna go on top of it with this powder blush. So that's the blush. I like to blush heavy personally. That's just a look that I enjoy on my face. What I do really like about this cream blush is that even on a powdered face, it doesn't disturb the foundation underneath. I prefer that. It's kind of like a cream to powder finish. I do notice a difference in formulation when it comes to like the glowy blushes or the powder blushes or the cream blushes, but they're all so soft and blendable. That's the key with Natasha Denona, blendable. Okay, now on to highlight. So I have a lot of our highlighters too, and a lot of them are from the blush palettes that you saw. So again, there are these 4 highlighters right here. The Sculpt and Glow palette, the large one, also has highlighters. This is a creamy one. This is more of a powdery finish. I'll swatch all of them. The tan palette, there's a highlighter here and a cream highlight here. The Love Glow palette, there are these 3. The Bloom palette, these 3. The Diamond and Glow, there's this one. The Blush and Glow, there's this one. The Bronze and Glow, this one right here. There's the Duo Glow. This one is in Alba. Finally, the Super Glow, just that right there. Then she has another glow powder, but I'm still waiting for that in the mail. So now I'm going to show you some swatches of those. So because I want to try as many products as I can for you guys, I'm gonna do a blush topper, and I really just want to do the Duo Glow one. I just think it's so beautiful. Just adds a nice luminosity to the face. And I'm gonna do a cream highlighter from the Diamond and Blush palette. I'm going to do this one. For powder highlighter, I'm going to use the Diamond and Glow. Just going to use this one. Okay, so as you can see, beautiful glow. I can't say enough good things. Like the cream blush doesn't disturb any of my makeup, and the powders just go on so beautifully. Natasha Denona doesn't have a setting spray yet, but I'm waiting. And so I'm just gonna set my face with my Cover FX High Performance Setting Spray, and I'm gonna do my brows how I normally do them, and then I'll be back. Okay, so brows are done. Now I'm gonna prep my eyes with her eyeshadow base. I just got it. It is in Light Beige 01. I've never used it, so this is my first time trying it. Okay, Okay, so this is an eye primer that has quite a tack, which is good. It's not one of those that covers all the veins and stuff completely or whatever. It's more translucent than that. So similar to like the Urban Decay primer or the Fenty primer, literally just an eyeshadow base meant to stick the colors on. And because there is quite a tack, it will hold on to the eyeshadows, even though Natasha's eyeshadows don't even need that. Like, that's how good they are. When it comes to Natasha's eyeshadows, basically her eyeshadows put her on the map. They are phenomenal. There are so many makeup products that I myself own from different companies. So many different makeup palettes, you know, that I still love and cherish. Like, I love my Pat McGrath palettes, you know, I love my Lime Crime palettes, I love all of my palettes. But the thing is with Natasha Denona's palettes, A, their blendability is phenomenal. Like, nothing can beat it at all. B, her glitters and shimmers are like out of this world. They're like foil. Just her formula stands out. For a matte formula to stand out and have so much notoriety as much as hers do says something. I have all of her larger palettes except for 2. So I have 12 of her big palettes and she has 14. 2 of her very first ones I don't have. So I'll show you the different kinds that she has and I'll show you all the little ones she has as well. This is one of her most recent palettes. These are smaller pans and they have 15 shadows. Then we have smaller pans as well, but this one has 28 shadows. Now we go on to the bigger pan palettes. These are the 15 shadow palettes that are bigger pans. So just for comparison's sake, do you see how these are smaller? There's the Star palette, which is slightly different. It's also the bigger pans. This one has 18 shadows. And then she has a palette that's 10 shadows, I believe. I don't have that one yet. And then she has another 28. And just for comparison's sake, this is the other 28. This is the Metropolis. And this is the green brown. So as you can see, a size difference there in terms of the pans. So I have this green brown one, and then she has a purple blue one of this larger palette. They were her first 2 palettes, I believe. So now we move on to the 5-pan palettes. So at first they started like this. I'm still collecting these ones. I don't have all of them. And this was the original packaging of what they looked like. Now she changed them to this kind of packaging. This is her most recent, it's the Coral palette. Coral, like coral, you know. Okay. And then she has the minis. This is the most recent one, the Retro palette. So I'll show you a comparison of the size. So today I actually want to use the Camo palette. I just want to go for a nice neutral look. Eye look. I'm gonna swatch this palette for you guys. So that's the palette swatch. Sorry, the darkest color went over my knuckles, so it's a little not as smooth. Even just to show the foiliness, I'm gonna take this color from the gold palette and swatch it for you guys. Like, is that not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? I'll do this one. Like, come on, you know? And then for a matte, just like a regular old color like that. Like, look at that. Just, you know, like, I love. Everything blends like butter. Like, it makes doing my makeup so much easier. That's the thing. It's like, even if she had the worst pigmentation when it comes to her mattes, they would still blend like butter because her formula is just phenomenal. So now I'm just gonna do my mascara, put on my lashes, and then go to the lip. Okay, so lashes and mascara is done. And I fixed my hair and I changed out of my robe. Okay, so the lip product I have from Natasha Denona is her liquid lip. This is what it looks like. It's number 22 Bare. So I don't have any of her liners. I legit want everything from her brand. Like, I want to get all her brushes, all her liners. I want to get the mascara she makes. What else does she have that I want? Obviously the rest of the palettes. Just everything she has. I just love her. Okay, so I'm just gonna put on like I normally would. So that's the lip. Her liquid lip formula is quite comfortable and soft. It isn't one of those like blotted lip formulas, which I adore, like creamy. These do dry matte, but I still think they're beautiful and I really love this color. So this is the final look. So I must say that I'm a huge fan of Natasha Denona. Every single product I have from her, I love. Like, there's not one that I've used and been like, not for me. I just think that she puts a lot of research into her products, and because she's such a world-renowned makeup artist, she like wants her products to represent the knowledge that she has and products that she would use. I think that it's definitely worth it to try her products. They are expensive, like, I'm not gonna lie. She probably has the most expensive palettes of all time, but they're worth it. If I could only choose one palette for the rest of my life, it would be like one of her palettes, like no joke. Anyway, thanks for watching my review. I hope you learned something interesting or new or whatever. And yeah, see you guys soon.